Summoning is by far the most exciting part in Dokkan Battle if you are a newer player or somebody that has not been doing it for years and spending thousands and thousands and thousands of stones on every single banner. So in this video, I want to explain to you what every summon animation means, and that way when you guys are summoning, you have a better idea of what you are going to be getting in those specific summons. So with that being said, there are going to be a few different ways to determine whether or not you are getting a good multi or a bad multi. So the first things first, I think the easiest way to start this would be to explain to you the guaranteed animations. So these are going to be the animations when you press the summon button, you are getting the new character. So if we were to use this banner as an example, I think this would be a good one for frame of reference, the current Goma banner that is live as of when I'm recording this, November 2025. This will give us a good idea of what we can expect. So there are going to be a few animations that guarantee that you get Goma, and these are going to be the following. The first one is going to be the infamous Goku Black Rift. Now, as you guys can see, the frame of reference image I'm using is a little bit different, but we'll explain that later. Typically, this would be Goku flying in, and then the combination would look a little bit different. But how can you tell it's a Goku Black Rift? It's pretty easy, right? When you press the summon button, screen's green, you got the Goku Black Rift right here. That is what we call it, and you're going to be good to go. If you see this, you guaranteed got the brand new copy of the new unit that you are summoning for. The only time where this cannot be the new character is when there are two new featured characters as like summonable LRs or Dokkan Fest exclusives. So during the 10-year anniversary, there were two new Carnival banners or two new Carnival LRs on the banner. Then a Goku Black Rift could mean one of two characters, could mean both, it could just mean one of them, right? So most of the time for the general usage of the game, if you get a Goku Black Rift, you are guaranteed to get the new character. Now, the next frame of reference that we are going to have here is the Zeno animation. So this one is going to be after the fly-in, right? When the characters fly in and you pull down, if you get Zeno, this is also going to guarantee that you obtained the new unit. So in the case of here, if we were to do a summon right here on this banner, again, if we pulled down and the two Zenos popped up, this would guarantee that we got a copy of Goma specifically. So do keep that in mind, that these are the money ones, right? These are extremely rare. Really, if you're a free-to-play player, you're only going to see these maybe a couple times a year. These are very rare animations that you are most of the time not going to be seeing. So the Zeno animation, one of the best ones as well. When you pull down and you see the two little happy robots, you know that you got the new character, and it's a very fun feeling because usually it feels like it comes out of nowhere. Now, the next animation, and this one does change depending on the time of the year. Sometimes animations change up, but what it is most commonly referred to is the Whis animation. So after the sort of meteor explodes during a summon, if this animation pops up, you are going to be getting the guaranteed new character. Now, there are a couple ways to indicate that this is going to happen, and it is not always going to be black and white. The easiest way to know that you are getting a Whis animation is when just Whis or just Beerus flies in, or there's a couple applications, right? Whis, like I said, Whis by himself, Beerus by himself, Beerus and Whis together, and then typically it would be Whis with one other character. So if we go down here, if Beerus or Whis are flying alongside Goku before the Kamehameha blast, there's a chance for Whis to perform his temporal do-over technique. If only Beerus and or Whis are present, the animation is guaranteed, which reverses the animation to before the blast is fired, then you fuse into Vegito Blue, and then sometimes these are going to be updated, but again, they do apply the same way. So again, the Whis animation, extremely rare. This is probably the rarest of the guaranteed summon animation, but this will guarantee you the copy of Goma here, or whatever the new character is that you're summoning for. And then the last one that we have for the rewind that has been in the game all year as of 2025 is the Super Shenron animation. It's going to play out very similar to the Whis animation. The meteor is going to explode in a different way. The Super Dragon Balls are going to come up, and then you are going to see Super Shenron. It's going to reverse, and then you are going to be granted the new character. So that is how these summon animations work. These are the big boys. These are the rare ones. These are the ones that guarantee that you get a copy of the new character, but most of the time you are not going to be seeing these animations. So let's talk about more of the common ones. So if we go up here to the beginning, right? The first thing we'll talk about is this one right here. So if we look at a base animation, this is a lot smaller than I thought it would be, but let's zoom in, right? Amazing quality here, but this is going to be the default screen for most of the summons that you are doing. Goku is flying in, and then you're going to have characters flying in that are going to help determine who is going to be in the multi-summon. So the easiest way to start this out is if nobody is flying in, unless you hear specific lines, you are more than likely not going to be getting anything good. But with characters flying in, these things can change. So the first thing, if we go down here, Krillin plus Android 18, that is going to be a combo. Android 17 and 18, that is going to be a combo. A combo is what is known for characters that pair together in like signature combinations, if you will, to the series. And this is going to guarantee one of two things. So if you look at it right here, you were either going to get a featured LR, a featured SSR, or you could potentially get 3 SSRs that may not be featured on the banner. So if we were to go over here to the Goma banner, if we were to have Krillin and 18 fly in, and there are a lot more combos, but Krillin and 18 will be our frame of reference. So if Krillin and 18 are flying in together at the Meteor, right, we have a chance to get Goma, or we have a chance to get any of the units here. Or again, if it's like we'll get into this a little bit later, but there will be voice lines, right? With the voice lines, that will determine what is going to happen here most of the time. So combos are a good thing, but they are not always going to guarantee exactly what you want, unless it is, like I said, Beerus and Whis, just Beerus, just Whis. There are very specific scenarios that will potentially happen here when this specific scenario plays out. So a combo is either going to mean 3 unfeatured or a featured SSR on the banner. So you may be thinking that you're only going to get the new character if you get those new animation or those specific animations. But no, there are going to be other ways to determine that you get a guaranteed featured SSR, a new LR, a new featured Dokkan Fest, right? And we are going to zoom in here and show you one of those now. And that is going to be the Trunks and Mai animation. So when Trunks is carrying Mai, this is going to guarantee a featured LR or a featured SSR on a TUR banner. This is going to be either a Dokkan Festival exclusive or an LR. So if you ever see Trunks carrying Mai right here, this is going to be a good sign. But this is not the only person that flies in that can indicate this. And this can also be done. Is it in here on this specific video? No, but in the specific part, if we go to the first update here and we go over to this right here, you guys can see Hercule and Boo. This is still in the game as well, and this will also indicate whether or not you are getting a featured LR or a Dokkan Festival exclusive character. Now, this is one of the trickier ones that people seem to be a little bit stuck up on, and this is going to be the Tien and Chaozu flying in. So if it's Tien, Chaozu, and Yamcha, this is going to signify that you are getting a featured SSR or a Dokkan Festival or an LR. So if it's if it's Chaozu, Tien, and Yamcha, this is kind of like Trunks are carrying Mai. And then if it's not Tien, Chaozu, and Yamcha, and it's something like Goten and Trunks, Gohan and Piccolo, Tien and Chaozu, or just Krillin, this is going to indicate that you are getting it could be 3 SSRs, right? So that's kind of the coin flip. So when you have random characters flying in, it's just going to be an SSR if you're doing a multi-summon. Now, we've talked about a lot of the characters flying in, but let's talk about something past that, right? What is known as a screen crack, as you guys can see right here, is going to signify, will this play as a GIF if I load this up? Yeah. So when you guys see the screen crack, this is going to be guaranteeing that you get an SSR on that specific multi-summon. Now, because SSRs are guaranteed every multi-summon, this does not mean much. But what does mean something is when the screen cracks again. And sometimes you are going to see various different ones. And again, this website isn't too up to date, but anytime that you see a double screen crack, that is going to signify an LR or a featured Dokkan Fest character. So like double screen crack equals good. That's really all you need to know. The images are going to be changing depending on the banner, but just know double screen crack is what you are looking for. Now, there's something else that's also going to signify a Dokkan Fest or an LR, and that is going to be the character right here, or the image right here, and this is going to be a long Kamehameha. As you guys can see, what is going to happen here is the Kamehameha is going to fly towards the meteor. And if you notice that the Kamehameha is going for a longer amount of time, this is going to signify a Dokkan Festival exclusive or an LR character. So when you have the long Kamehameha, this is going to be what you want to see in terms of like a good combination, or not even a good combination. This is a sneaky one that really can happen at any time. And obviously, if you see it, it's going to be a good thing. It's going to mean you're getting something that you want. So do keep that in mind. But there's not, sometimes, these other things can happen, right? We talked about Zeno, and then we also need to talk about fusing. So the way that this is going to look, it is going to look slightly different now, but it's the same principle. You are either, when Vegeta flies in, there's always going to be a chance that you fuse. Now, sometimes it's going to be obvious before the pull down. You guys can see the text looks a little bit different. Usually it says release, but there it says give me that quick, right? Or we need to fuse, whatever it may be for the time being. What we typically say in the community here is gold text, right? When the gold text pops up, that means you know you got what you wanted. So, or not, well, you got your fusion. Right. And this is, again, going to signify an LR or a Dokkan Festival exclusive character. And this is something that you want to see. So fusions, screen cracks, long Kamehamehas, right? Specific combos flying in. These are going to guarantee Dokkan Festival exclusive or featured characters. And it's just going to come down to what banner you are on. Now, last but not least, for explaining these summon animations, something you need to understand as well is what happens during the pull down. So if we go to, what's like the easiest way to do this, right? These are the old summon animations. You don't want to see that. The pull down here, like, so something that looks like this would be the best way to do it, is Goku is going to be saying something, right? And I guess this would be the best way to say it. If Goku says this is where it ends, or in Japanese, kore de owarida, you'll know when he says that if you have the sound on, or Kamehameha, or it's do or die. This is where things are going to change up. So if you're playing JP or you have the Japanese voice on, you want to hear owarida, you probably hear us talk about that in summon videos. This is going to guarantee a featured character. Or if Goku says this is where it ends, that's kind of how it sounds, right? That is going to signify, again, a featured character. But if he does not say that, then it's going to come down to whatever the animation was prior to that. So it could have been a combo flying in. But if you get like random people flying in and stuff like that, and things look a little bit different, and Goku says owarida, then you know you're getting a featured character. But if you have like a baseless one and there's not really much going on, then you'd probably understand. So what I'll do to kind of make things make sense here for you is, we will do, just for fun, a single summon to close out this video on the Goma banner. And what we'll be able to do is sort of determine what we are getting here on this single summon. So again, the regular Meteor, and then Yamcha and Gohan flying in. So again, this is going to signify that we are not getting anything based on who is flying in. But if we pull down here, you can see we got Super Saiyan, but we didn't get Zeno, and it depends on what he said. But if we let go here, and the Kamehameha looks a little bit different, we'll talk about this to end it. Characters that are flying in, those little cut-ins, that will also determine what is going to be in the multi-summon. So as you guys can see, nothing good came from that one in specific, but again, that was based on the animation. So if you see Kid Goku, that is not going to signify anything. If you get to Saiyan Saga Goku, that is not going to signify anything. If you get to Namek Goku, that is going to signify an SSR. And then last but not least, if you get to the Super Spirit Bomb for Goku, that is going to signify a Dokkan Festival exclusive character or an LR. So currently, as of 2025, that is everything that you need to know about the summon animations and what you are going to be getting. TLDR, when you see combinations, when you get the Goku Black Rifts, the Zenos, you're going to be in good luck. But a lot of the times, the multis are going to just kind of come down to a coin flip, and depending on what the animation is, that is all there is to it. There's no trick to get good animations. Everything is completely generated the second you press the button, so there's no trick around that. So hopefully that makes summon animations a little bit clearer for you guys. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comment section below, and I'll be glad to help you out down there. But that's all I got for you in this one. I hope you guys enjoyed the updated 2025 version of this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next guide or Dokkan video that I do. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you did enjoy. Leave a like if you did. Subscribe if you were new. Consider becoming a member down below to help further support the channel. I appreciate you guys watching. I love you, and I'll see you all in the next one.